Hello YouTube. Bane666 here. Welcome to Propaganda of Toxic Feminism, the series in which I expose and debunk falsehoods, misconceptions, and outright lies spread about the men's rights movement. So let's get stuck into it. If you have seen the previous episodes in the series, then you probably know that I'm not a huge fan of Roosh V. To be perfectly honest, I'd prefer not to talk about the guy. But feminists keep insisting that he's an MRA, and that he represents all MRAs, despite the fact that he is in fact a pickup artist, and has had many negative things to say about the men's rights movement. The perfect example of this was a recent video by Angry Bastards, titled, "The Harsh Reality of Being a MRA", which is about Roosh V's recent trip to Canada. I left a comment in the comments section saying, "Roosh V isn't an MRA, he's a pickup artist." To which he replied, "I don't fucking care. It's the same in my mind." And here lies the problem. Our opposition don't care if they are factually inaccurate, they don't care if they are misleading their audience, they don't care if all they present is propaganda. All that matters is that they strike a blow against those evil misogynistic MRAs. But the fact that they have to resort to using non-MRAs to prove how bad we are should be telling. But I'm jumping ahead in the story, so let's go back to the start. Roosh V decided to go on a world tour, which includes 2 stopovers in Canada. This resulted in moral outrage by the feminist social justice usual suspects. Sarah Parker Towson started a petition on change.org called "Deny Roosh V Accommodation in Canada for the Purposes of Disseminating Hate." Now, I will give Sarah Parker Towson credit for one thing. You see, last time I read this petition was a week or so ago, and she had referred to Roosh as an MRA. It seems in that time she has updated the petition, and removed any references to men's rights, and actually correctly labeled them as a PUA. So credit where credit is due Sarah Parker Towson, unlike some individuals. Anyway, the petition in its present form reads, "Roosh V, aka Roosh Vork aka Dariush Valazadeh, creator and administrator of the pickup artist, PUA hate website, The Return of Kings, is going on a world tour this summer. Next month, he plans on coming to Canada for 2 dates. August 8 in Montreal, and August 15 in Toronto. We must stop him. Roosh V is coming to Canada specifically for the purposes of violating Section 319 of the Canadian Criminal Code, which clearly prohibits gathering and organizing for the purposes of inciting hatred of an identifiable group. The Southern Poverty Law Center, SPLC, has identified both Roosh and his website as hate-based, and the hateful misogynistic views that he is coming to Canada to disseminate are likely to breach public peace. From advocating for the decriminalization of rape to imploring men to sexually abuse women with mental illness to straight-up dehumanizing women as an entire group, The Return of Kings is part of the manosphere, a misogynist hate scene that has been developing a growing presence on the web. Misogynists from all over the world are attracted to Roosh and his website not only because it, like all hate groups, provides an easy scapegoat to blame all of their problems on, but because it also promises to provide them with an easy guide to sexually abusing women. The most dangerous ideas that Roosh V propagates are about what to do with women in the real world, how to treat them, why and how they owe men sex, how to best take full advantage of their fundamental inhumanity. It is in the sense that allowing Roosh V to come to Canada to disseminate his views to a live and captive audience of fellow hate-mongers is so potentially dangerous to the public. In the world of organized misogyny promoted by Roosh V, rape is a valid response to male desire. Women are not fully human, so physically taking control of them becomes necessary. Crimes against women are often overhyped, and hating them is a logical conclusion to biological truth. Violence against and hatred for women becomes normalized, acceptable, even necessary. As a nation we have already decided that hate speech has no place in Canada. Hate is hate, and it is physically dangerous. We must ensure that Roosh V and his following are not allowed to flourish in the dark corners of our society, for the same reasons that we do not allow white supremacy a legitimate place in Canada. There are 3 ways to help. Please digitally sign the attached petition to prohibit Roosh V from entering Canada for the purposes of inciting hatred toward women, as per Section 319 of the CCC. Please call the Canada Border Watch toll-free line at 1-888-502-9060 to report Roosh's entrance into Canada for the purposes of criminal activity. If the border agency is aware of his arrival, he may be turned away. Forward the link to this petition widely. Now, although I think some of what Sarah Parker Townsend says about Roosh is hyperbole, I do generally agree with her that Roosh is a pretty scummy individual, and I fully support Sarah Parker Townsend's right to criticize Roosh and his beliefs. But banning him from Canada for hate speech? Really? I have a real problem with silencing people. I think it's much better to let them spew their bullshit, and then shine a very bright light on it. Okay, so some of you might point out that Roosh wouldn't really be silenced by a Canadian ban, because he still has a platform on the internet, and this is true. And guess what? They have the internet in Canada. So banning him from Canada isn't preventing him from being heard in Canada. To which I have to ask, what's the point then? All the feminist social justice usual suspects have really done is give Roosh some free publicity. But the concept of banning someone from your country, because you disagree with them, is a very slippery slope. And let's be clear here, the hate speech allegation is nonsense, and is just an excuse to silence someone with some distasteful opinions. But who gets to decide what's distasteful? Not the majority of Canadians. Most of them have never heard of Roosh, and definitely didn't sign the petition unless the population of Canada has shrunk to 40,000 without anyone telling me. But who should get to decide? Should a group of angry feminists be able to block an anti-feminist? What about anti-feminists blocking a feminist? Is that okay? How about a group of atheists blocking a Christian, or a Muslim, or whatever? Or organized religious groups blocking an atheist speaker? I could go on all day with a very long list of groups who are opposed to other groups with different ideas. Now part of a free society is individuals and groups having the right to their opinion, even if others believe those opinions are wrong. Some of you might agree, but say there is a line to be drawn at some point. I can understand this. For example, I really hate neo-Nazis. But let me repeat what I said earlier, it's better to let them speak, and then to shine a bright light on their bullshit, and to show why it's bullshit. If you try to prevent them from speaking at all, then all you do is drive it underground, where it turns into an echo chamber without relevant counter-opinions. Now there are many groups I disagree with: creationists, fundamentalist Muslims, anti-vaxxers, Scientologists, 911 truthers, conspiracy theorists, and yes, feminists as well. You can also throw Roosh's style of PUAs in there as well as many other groups. But I would never try to silence their speech. Just the opposite, in fact. Let them speak and expose themselves for who they really are. If you try to silence them, you just turn them into martyrs. Or drive them underground into echo chambers. Why do that when you can expose them instead? Of course this isn't perfect. For example, the MRA voice is drowned out by the feminist voice, which allows them to spread half-truths and lies far more easily than we can spread our message. Need I mention the name, Elliot Rodger? Although considering Sarah Parker Townsend did change her petition from referring to Roosh as an MRA to a PUA might mean we have more of a voice than we think. I wonder how many messages she received pointing out her inaccuracy before she changed it. But the right to free speech that I'm talking about is what prevents our opposition from silencing us altogether, although they have tried, and exposing their lies and half-truths is one of our greatest weapons. So as much as I personally dislike Roosh V, I have to call bullshit on this petition. As much as I dislike his message, I still support his right to say it, as I support Sarah Parker Townsend's right to counter his message, or other feminist social justice usual suspects to do the same. But countering someone's message or argument is different than trying to silence them. That's something I cannot support. And Sarah Parker Townsend failed, as Roosh did in fact enter Canada. And a total of 35 men turned up to his lecture. And then there was an incident. But before we look at the footage, let's see what the website aptly named Con has to say about it. Exclusive, Roosh V gets beer thrown in his face. After failing to hold his speaker event in Montreal on August 8, 2015, Roosh V faked a celebration with fellow distraught MRAs at a small bar near St. Lawrence Street. According to an internal source, Roosh V declared his free speech victory via all social media platforms. However, it has since been discovered that he has been lying about the event even taking place. Instead, Roosh V gathered with about a dozen MRAs in the room where he was staying and began a disinformation campaign. Using Twitter and his personal forum, fake accounts published decoy posts claiming the event was taking place. Later that night at the celebration, Roosh V had beer thrown on him by 4 women. He can be seen waving his wet wig around, and then picking up a chair to attack the woman who threw the beer at his face. As the beer was thrown on private property, Roosh V and his followers have been debating whether the incident should be deemed legal or illegal. How many fucking times do we need to say it? He's not a fucking MRA. But why let facts get in the way? The article also claims that he can be seen waving his wet wig around, and then picking up a chair to attack the woman who threw the beer at his face. Keep that in mind when you watch the footage. Personally, I couldn't see it, but the footage early on isn't great quality. What I did see though was Roosh having numerous drinks thrown in his face, and those standing between him and the mob getting pushed and shoved. Anyway, here's the footage. I'll let you be the judge.
Oh yeah!
You're a piece of shit!
Yeah, piece of shit, bro!
You're enjoying your time in Montreal! Piece of shit! How dare you fucking come to Canada? How dare you fucking come to Montreal? You think you know? Get the fuck out! This is Roosh V! Get the fuck out of here! This is fucking Roosh V! Get the fuck away! This is the guy that says rape should be legal! This guy thinks he should rape your sister! This is fucking Roosh V! He thinks rape should be legal! Fuck this guy!
Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here! You piece of shit! You're not welcome in this city! Fucking scum! Get the fuck out of here! Fucking scum! Get the fuck out of here!
Who the fuck is you? Bye! Fuck you!
Why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it? Hold on. Okay, I'll be wearing. Thank you. Have a nice night.
No, we just don't like the sort of culture this guy breeds.
Hey.
Guys.
I know who any of these people are.
Yeah.
Relax. Relax. Relax.
I'm with you guys are talking
You never said
that. You never said it. Show the proof.
We'll see you soon. Body hard.
Can you read it?
I'm not a fucking teacher.
You got a smartphone, right? You got a smartphone.
You'll have to
You got a smartphone. Show me the article.
fuck out of my face.
Just show me the article. Easy. Easy.
There you go.
Eat my cunt!
There you go.
Fuck you!
Welcome.
And predictably this incident caused a bit of a shitstorm.